Bonjour et bienvenue à tous pour ce Pop-in Books exceptionnel en présence de Roy et Inaki Miranda, les auteurs du comics We Live, pour un moment d'échange et de dédicace en partenariat avec la librairie Comptoir du rêve comics.
Hello guys, and hello everywhere who are watching this video. We're here in Toulouse with the Miranda brother, Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda. Thank you very much to be here. It's an honor for us, a privilege, really. And We Live is a huge success for us. Really a book to discover and to share. So thank you again, really. First, I will ask Inaki, you're in the comic industry for 20 years or so right now. You made a lot of things from Judge Dredd to Coffin Hill to Fairest and Harley Quinn, etc. How was the journey so far for you?
Well, so far, I think the journey was a learning experience. Like 20 years of just absorbing and learning about storytelling. That was like, I think my unconscious goal might have been that, because since the beginning, what I wanted to do is create and write. So I'm thankful for these 20 years that it was just be patient and learn.
Yeah, you both come from Argentina, and then moved to the United States in California, and then to Spain now. And you, Roy, also known as Mercurio, Le Flaco, have a career in musical, hip-hop, etc. So two different profiles in your respective career. How did you two manage to meet, if I can say that, each other with this project? How did it start?
Supongo que de manera orgánica, ¿no? A través de vernos en momentos familiares y darnos cuenta que había una sintonía en tipo de historias que queríamos contar.
He's saying it was an organic thing.
Yeah.
When we had family reunions, we spoke, and suddenly we realized that we had a common meeting or point where we had fun.
Yeah. And what was the first idea you share, or you are saying to each other, oh, there may be a cool thing here? Was it about a character, about already the story, or something, or wanting to talk about ecological themes, or destroying Earth, I don't know.
You mean specifically?
Did you have first one idea, like the inner circle of what will become We Live?
Yeah, it started with Roy was working for events or advertising company, and he was doing some work for energy company.
Okay.
Which we won't name. And he just started telling me about and how there was going to be a moment in society when we wouldn't be able, we were not prepared to make the jump from fossil energy to green energy. So that would maybe create a collapse in the system.
Yeah.
So that was the first, point that we started speaking about the end of society, that collapse moment, and from there on, we just started imagining what the world would be like after that.
Yeah.
And we really just started. One thing that we have when we speak is that we have no shame, and we just say everything that comes to our mind. We just put it on the table and start any subject, and I don't know how it got bigger. We just started speaking, and I remember there was a specific moment where we were, following the characters, and we were reaching. Okay, oh no, I now remember, because we started speaking about the aliens. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because Roy had this idea that it was going to be a recurrent theme that every 20 years or 30 years, whatever, 50 years, like he said, the aliens, the subject is going to return in society, like happened in the 50s.
Yeah.
And that's when we reached, okay, so we said, maybe the aliens come to save us. I mean, the human species. And from there on, it was that's when we really started to create the story. That was the point where we said, okay, we have a story here.
But before that, we were talking about other story my brother had in her mind.
Yeah.
His
mind. His mind. His mind.
But but it was it wasn't for We Live. It was for other
different things.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, it was really fun because we started imagining. Let's say we reach the end of the world, the aliens come to save us, and how would they save us? Yeah. So that's when we came with the idea of the bracelets. It has to be a random thing because if you give it to the politics, there's going to be corruption there. So the bracelets are going to go to the rich kids only. So that's when we came with the idea of the bracelet. They just randomly throw it into Earth.
Yeah, it's a political choice also to put this kind of bracelets, a random thing, because you are saying by saying that no class things, no bracelet for rich people only, and etc. So it's like I don't want to say like an opinion too pronounced, but that's there. And We Live is in 60 years from now. In the future, it's post-apocalyptic. It's a lot of strong ecological themes, obviously, and it's like for me when I read it, it's like the last piece of innocence. Also, because you are using kids and teenagers like Ototo and Tala, main character of the story in this post-apocalyptic, and it is really dark times for the planet Earth. Obviously, this is the ending of it. But also, we are following children, and one who is ready to sacrifice herself because she's going to die at the end, and one we expect to be saved. This was like the loss of innocence, of the last part of innocence, and we really love it. We dig it really, and maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm not. You use really vivid color in a book. Is it a part of it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it has two layers. The first layer is the one you see, because it eases you into the story. It's like one thing for me, and I think for Roy too, storytelling has to be really easable, absorbable. That's the first magic, I think, of storytelling, that you don't think while you're absorbing the story. So the colors were part of that we have to wanted this very visually attractive.
Yeah.
And there's the second layer that it has a meaning, but
you can say now
it would be a spoiler.
Yeah,
so.
okay. Spoiler alert. Okay. So we have to wait. How do you two work together? Who do you? Is there one of you was writing the script after your discussion all the time, or do you put it already directly on the pages?
Yes, sí, normalmente ha pasado de muchas maneras, no solo primero hablar muchísimo, ver la historia antes de escribirla, hacemos un boceto, una estructura en sucio, o sea, pasamos, y después hay momentos en los que escribe uno, termina uno.
It says it happens in different ways. We don't have one specific way of working, but usually we speak a lot. And that's where we, create the story just in our heads, like seeing all the possibilities and talking them out. And then we bring it down to a structure for the pages, exactly like the scenes. We bring down the scenes, the structure of the scenes, and we separate them in... I'm adding things that...
Are you writing both of you the dialogues together?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, because we write with a Google document.
Okay.
So every time somebody puts if I put something, he'll be able to read it.
Yeah, okay.
And I just call him. I put this
Like a common file shared
yes, exactly.
between the two of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And,
it's very like organic when if you, because sometimes you just have an inspiration because you watch something or you read something or you're just thinking of something while you're in the gym.
Yeah.
And then you go and write it down.
Yeah.
And we call our each other and say,
so,
read that.
like we said
Look
when we met before, it's an ongoing discussion between the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I have a question with which is really in the center of the book. Is the emotion. The emotion you manage to put it's very very powerful because you are using the fratry with Ototo and Tala, but not just them, of course, and that there is a scene with a letter. And I think I don't want to betray something, or that your daughter helped with this scene. Can you tell us a little more about that?
¿Cómo?
La escena de la carta que Noah.
Sí, sí. Bueno, que estábamos que estábamos los dos en casa justo trabajando en ese momento y no teníamos muy claro cómo afrontarlo porque teníamos que ponernos en la piel de una niña de esa edad. Y estaba Noah y como lo estaba escuchando y se lo contamos, le dijimos, intentá escribirlo.
We were at his house and we arrived to that scene specifically, and we weren't sure how to, write that scene down because we really needed to be read as a child. A kid would write it, not as an adult. So Noah, his daughter, was there, and I based the design of Tala on her, so she was already Tala. So we asked her, we told her what was happening. And we told her specific points that we needed in the letter.
And can you say it with your own words?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So please write it down.
Yeah.
And she did. We tweaked things because obviously you want to, it's a piece of art.
Yeah,
so you want to, but it worked.
Yeah, it clicked perfectly.
Yes, because it was
moves
very
me,
simple.
It moves all of the readers,
Yes.
I think, as you already know, of course. And it's the balance. I want to say in the book is perfect. And I won't spoil the ending of the first book for the people who are viewing now this video and don't know the book yet, and they have to try it, obviously. This is really good. The end was completely surprising for everyone. I want to say it.
Yeah.
Nobody see it coming. It was amazing. And then came the second book, where you are touring now with the release of it, and which is completely different because we live in a different time. All of us now on a planet in a pandemic times, and I won't say most post-pandemic right now, of course, but all these events we all share imprint your work on the second volume.
Yeah, very much, because we lived it as we just weren't able. You're in the middle of a mist and you don't know what's ahead at all. Anything can happen, and at the same time, everything was very confusing, and people were dying, and it was very chaotic.
Yeah.
And emotionally, it was very confusing and direct. That's why we saw. The feeling was what we would say there. It's a storm.
Yeah.
That you just can't see very very well, and you have to pass it. And at the same time, you're very confused by everything. It's like a lot of things happening around you.
Yeah.
And you become almost you don't what's the word? you're not important to the event, what's happening.
Yeah.
You're just like an ant, and
Yeah.
suddenly you have nothing to say.
Yeah,
nothing.
like a leaf in the wind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you become aware of that.
Yeah.
That you mean nothing in that moment.
Yeah. And on a personal question, on a personal way, was it cathartic for you to put what's happening over there in your creation, or on a little way, or I don't know?
Sí, porque, creo que hay una parte importante de que lo que hablábamos hoy, que una vez que se dice la tormenta las reglas han cambiado. Y no sé si la palabra es catártico, no sé si he vivido un momento así, pero es como que hasta que no terminamos de escribirlo, sabíamos dónde iba, pero no sabíamos exactamente sabíamos dónde queríamos ir, pero o sea, hay un paralelismo entre moverte en una pandemia porque necesitas llegar a un lugar y lo que estábamos haciendo en el cómic, porque necesitamos encontrarnos a un lugar nuevo.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it, and I'll say it shorter. Like he's saying that he doesn't know if it's cathartic, the word, but the sensation is like you have to get out of the storm and know what's after that.
Yeah.
So it was more the feeling of needing to for the storm to end. That's
sí,
the
y sabiendo que todo ha cambiado.
And knowing that
entender cuál es el cambio.
That knowing
la nueva realidad.
Everything has changed or will change, and you have to cope with a new reality.
Yeah.
And that's him. And
that's precisely what's happening in the second book.
Yes.
I won't spoil it, obviously, but there's a lot of change. We are a few years after the ending of the first volume, and a lot have changed, except for the worst, which is really here. And on another question, do you have, each of you maybe different, do you have a favorite scene in what you did on We Live already? A scene you prefer, or you prefer
the second volume, or you mean, or any?
Anyway, second or two, second or the first volume, whatever. Do you have a favorite part?
I do. I mean, for me, it's the train scene.
The train scene, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, without spoiling anything, sometimes things happen, and what I felt from that scene is the magic of the letter flying out of the window.
Yeah.
There's a meaning there.
Yeah.
Because Jototo never gets to read that letter.
Yeah.
So there's a metaphor that I loved.
Yeah.
And like he was never meant to read that letter.
Yeah.
That's
It's still emotional.
Yeah. Por no repetir, una de las cosas que me gusta de We Live completo es la evolución de los personajes de Jumbo y Alice. Todo el camino.
Yeah, he's saying, not to repeat what I just said, so he'll say another thing, is the evolution of the characters of Jumbo and Alice.
Yeah.
And how they, travel the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like two duets in this story. Yeah, really, they are stronger. When the scene was complete, written, entirely drawing and colored, did you have an emotion at this time when it was the scene you love so much was complete, was finished, like not an achievement, of course, but say, yeah, we did it like we wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's click and you have like a feeling of yeah, that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, I have to say that the feeling came even before we started, because I had the feeling that like where the treasure is, you know the map, where the treasure is hidden, but you just can't reach it yet. So when we had the story, I knew we were able to reach that that hidden treasure if we do it right, but I knew that we had the elements to do it right.
Yeah.
So it was like in my case, the sentiment was even before we started.
Yeah.
When we finished it, it's like I already felt it. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, and so really, really powerful. All the 2 books already. We are waiting for more, obviously. But for now, you have to tour, you have to rest, and other projects I know. So thank you, guys, and
Thank you.
and see you soon. And we have another meeting, obviously. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.